Hello, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I'll be talking about how to cut and sew this particular dress. If this is something you're interested in, please kindly watch to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thank you. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is putting the half length measurement. The half length I'm working with is 8 inches. I'll be adding half inch for sewing allowance. So the next thing we'll be adding is the shoulder. The shoulder measurement we'll be using is 4.5. You could measure it, or this particular measurement works between age of 2 and 3. This dress I'm making is for a 2 years old. So the armhole depth is 4.5 also. So the next thing I'll be doing is to add the shoulder slope. I'll be sloping the shoulder by just half inch, and I'll connect that to the front, and I'll add a little bit of sewing allowance to it. So the next measurement I'm putting is the body circumference. The measurement I'm working with is her body size plus 2 inches, but I'll be sewing on 1 inch. So we have 1 inch as the ease. So the belt is just going to do the body tightening since it's a baby dress. So the neck width we'll be using for this will be 2 by 2. That's the depth of 2 and the width of 2 for the front. And for the back is going to be the depth of 1 inch and the width of 2. I'll be using the same pattern for both the front and the back. So this is the finished look. So I'll just cut it out. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, share, drop a comment. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a post. Thank you. So this is the finished look. So I'll be using a velvet fabric for this. So I'd already interfaced the part I'll be working with. You know how velvet can be. If you do not interface it, it's going to give you issues working with. So just interfaced. I used air stay for this interfacing. This is actually the best interfacing I recommend for you to use. So I'll just cut it out. So I'll cut out the front first. I'll alter the neckline later because I already mentioned earlier that I'm using the same pattern for both the front and the back. If you notice that I did not add a zip lap to the pattern when cutting, so I'll just add it to the fabric right now. So I'll cut out another piece of this. So now I'll alter the neckline that I want to use for the front and place it and do the correction. So I'd cut it out. This is the lining. I cut out the lining the exact same way I cut out the main fabric. So this is the lower part. The length I'm using for this is just from the half length to the length of the dress I want. So that's just it. You add half inch for the sewing allowance at the top and 1 inch for the hem. So it's just a rectangular shape, no big deal. So the lining I'll be using for this is just going to be 2 inches shorter than the main fabric, just 2 inches shorter. So the first thing we're going to do when it comes to sewing is to place the front on the back and join at the shoulder. You do the same thing, the exact same thing to the lining. You just place it like that and join at the shoulder before we turn the neckline. So I've gone ahead to join the shoulder. The next thing I'm going to do now is to turn the neckline. So when you do that, you leave a space for the zip at the back. So you don't start from the tip. You understand? That zipper part, you're going to leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches for that. Then you sew it all the way. And you still don't sew it to the end also there, then you top stitch. So I've gone ahead to do this. I top stitched it, but please note that the top stitch did not start from where the sewing started from. So you see where the sewing is starting from. That's the I left about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Then I started top stitching behind. So I've ironed it now. The next thing we're going to do is to pick the lining and the main fabric and sew on 1 inch separately. You sew like that on 1 inch, and please do not forget, if you're using a belt, which I'll definitely advise, you make sure you put the belt before sewing the main fabric together like that. So this is it. I have added the belt and I've joined the lining on the side and also the main fabric on the side also. So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach the bottom of the lining. So I'm going to be pleating the lining, but the main fabric I'll be doing a gather separately. So can we see, this is how it looks after attaching the lining. So we have the rough look in between the main fabric and the lining. So this is how it looks. This is it. So the next thing we are going to do is to add our zip. Please make sure that the point where the gather starts from, make sure it's meeting on both sides, on the left and the right, and you keep a space and sew straight down. So that part where I added that pin is where I'm going to sew from to the bottom. Then I'll add the zip to it. So please note I am adding the zip only to the main fabric for now, only to the main fabric. So I've gone ahead to attach the zip. So any excess you have, just trim it off. Then you remember that part where we left open at the neckline before turning the neckline. We are going to close it up now since we've already attached our zip. So we are going to close it up now and also top stitch. So this is it. So after top stitching it, you just run the lining like that from the top to where the zip stops. So we'll just sew it from top to bottom like that. You stop at the part where the zip stops. So you just see, I'll just sew it like that, open top stitch, then you would sew it straight up to the end of the zip. And you see how fine that looks. So you do that for the other side too. So this is it after I flipped it out. Please do not forget to cut off any excess you have to avoid any bulge. So this is what I'll do to the lining now. You take both together like so and sew it down straight up. So this is the look when we are done. The next thing we are going to do now is to attach the sleeve. So please note, because I'm working with velvet, I'll just have to run a stitch holding both the lining and the velvet together, because the velvet still has tendency of stretching out. Then I'll attach the sleeve. So this is the finished look of the dress. Please do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get notified anytime I post. Thank you very much.